this series is anyone's to take, and any one of these games can be any teams.
Sticking with the Soraka ban, going to probably be there throughout the entire series, and CLG also sticks with the Azir ban.
I wonder if TSM adds
Big
Caitlyn, though, to
surprises
the list.
I don't know about that. Bard was pretty big from Aphromoo as well.
Definitely was.
Might get back up on there.
And looks like Echo will be the final ban, so instead that one comes through, and they're going to make Huhi play something else. Maokai off the table, and now also Poppy added. CLG says, yeah, you know what? We know you like Poppy, so you're not allowed that one.
Very interesting with so many of the big tanks taken off the table now.
Yeah.
What becomes a
Gragas
priority?
and Trundle are the sort of next up on the list, actually.
As far as tanks go.
As far as tanks go, specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
Graves is up, which I feel like Darshan might still be happy to play at some point. If that's how the picks and bans lie. I mean, all the junglers are up.
Nidalee,
Right?
Kindred,
The jungle,
Graves.
the jungle prioritization has actually been kind of weird for me. Because usually, you know, Nidalee dropping down there to second round last game was kind of weird, but she might be a little bit lower for these guys specifically. Kindred, all of them are up right now, though. So, you know, take your pick of the litter. There's Nidalee, Kindred,
Jungle
Graves.
first pick would be,
Yeah.
to me, unlikely just based on how they're prioritizing in previous games, but maybe something changed in the huddle about what they should prioritize.
Yeah, and remember last time it was TSM who chose Graves over Nidalee. They had the option.
Well, this is the funny thing. In game one, it was Svenskeren's Nidalee that got outscaled by Xmithie's Kindred, which is a matchup that is still available here. And yet, in game three, Xmithie's Nidalee was so much better than Svenskeren that he just crushed the early game and got CLG a huge lead. It's more the player skill than the champions from what I've been seeing so far. That Xmithie was winning both sides of the Nidalee matchup.
Yeah, and now I would like to see flex picks or not giving away too much here, because this top lane matchup is going to have a lot more interesting options since
he's getting picked.
the three main top tanks have been banned.
It's so tempting to see him on a squishy champion like Fiora, though, with all the major tanks being banned away. It's unlikely, though.
It is, but I do want to know what's next up on the list, actually, and it's going to be Trundle Elise. So,
Okay.
Whoa!
Graves and Kindred were on the table, and CLG doesn't care. That is actually incredibly surprising to me.
And it's the first Trundle of the series when we're less
Well,
likely to see some of the super tanks.
So because
as well.
this is so puzzling, right? They're not just going down the pecking order of highest power. They have something in mind. They must have something in mind, and it's probably a poke comp. Whenever you see Trundle in history, he's always been using the pillar for poke comps, right? Setting up all these skill shots. And Elise is one of the junglers that actually can fit into that, since Nidalee's already taken. You know, the cocoon pressure when you are sieging up does provide a decent amount. Maybe CLG are actually going to switch it up and go poke here. That would be definitely, you know, off the beaten path, but it's an option.
Well,
taking away a little bit there from
At the very least, we see the Caitlyn from DoubleLift looking for the lane dominance over Stixxay, and also because Stixxay kind of found his footing at the very end of Game 3. They want to put him back into a champion he may not be as comfortable with.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a ban, but it turns out it's TSM going to pick that one away. Second round blue side. The rest of these champions not nearly as contested. The Soraka, the Echo, the Rise, all kind of one-sided as CLG favorites. So no, at the end of the day, no huge surprise that ends up being the choices for TSM, but it does mean that Stixxay has to play something new.
And I actually do like that. You know, if you're looking at Trundle and Elise, and they've already been having success with this Caitlyn, or they actually recently did, take it away. There's still another poke AD carry, though. Ezreal here picked up for Stixxay.
Yeah, Ezreal could be Stixxay, could always be Huhi. There's a chance. And keep in mind that Corki is still available, so if we are looking at the poke composition, and that is the sort of the lineup that we're probably looking to find here.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams have a lot of poke this game, and there's also the option for TSM to go really heavy protect DoubleLift here and do another Lulu.
Oh, that would be huge.
It's not with the Kalista, but it's with Caitlyn, and they have the Nidalee for the attack speed, and that is a devastating combination in team fights if they get there.
Gragas Lulu would be fine, I think, for TSM, honestly. They've been happy to play Gragas the whole series anyway.
It would look a little low in overall damage, but they've gotten away with it in the past.
Yeah, but if there's one player in North America to build around, it can be DoubleLift. I don't know if that's going to be TSM's choice. They could run the option, but there are other plays available. And as they take their time, there's the Gragas. And what's it going to be alongside? It is the Lulu, so that's the comp after all. Protect the DoubleLift.
It's what won them game 2. That was their cleanest game of the series.
Plus,
and their only win.
This means that they can run teleport on their mid laner. Bjergsen will take again the teleport with Lulu, which has been very, very big in the mid game in every single one of these games.
So what's Huhi's answer? Is it going to be mid lane Corki? like he ran against Lulu in game 2. It wasn't successful.
It would go into the poke, but it also means they wouldn't have a reliable way of killing a very protected caitlyn, which was one of the problems they ran into in game 2.
I don't think Trundle has great backline access anyway.
Nope.
I mean, this is not a backline region team.
You're kind of funneled into poke wars here.
Yeah.
Skill shot wars.
At that point, it would be Varus.
Yeah. But caitlyn and Lulu already have great wave clear. The stand-up and siege has to have long enough range to get damage down that stays. But no, it's a way to get into the back line. It's Twisted Fate coming through for Huhi.
Much more stylistically accurate for CLG. The Bard plus Twisted Fate on top of the Ezreal and Elise. It's all about forcing picks. It's stopping TSM from grouping up. It's eliminating the death ball and never letting them group.
Big wave clear as well from CLG Game.
Yeah.
As you're saying, Scar was looking for that earlier on in the series. Does finally appear here for Huhi in the counter pick.
Okay. Double match point for Counter Logic Gaming to be back-to-back North American LCS champions, to hope to redeem themselves from Worlds at the mid-season invitational in Shanghai. This could be the game that sends CLG. Meanwhile, for the lineup on your screen right now, TSM, they have to win this one and the next one to get their 4th championship.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
The picks and bans have evolved in this series. We get to see our first Trundle, our first Stixxay Ezreal, our first Twisted Fate.
There we go. The finals, what could be the last game of the series if CLG has anything to say about it. This is the matchup to watch. This is the game to watch. Tune in, tell your friends, tell your dog, tell everybody to come and tune into this one. Hashtag TSM win, hashtag CLG win. Whichever team it is, they're gonna put on a great show. Let's hear it for our finals because we are heading in to game 4. TSM fighting for survival, CLG fighting for the win.
It's a great word. This has been one continuous fight. And a lot of these games, just super long, super chaotic team fights. CLG, one game away from the championship, but with a much different set of champions than they've had at any point during this series.
Definitely a different style. We'll see if that's going to work out then for Counter Logic Gaming.
And TSM looking to complete or extend their crazy playoff run. The 6th seed coming in, taking down the 3rd seed, taking down 1st seed Immortals. What an incredible, crazy story it would be for them after the season that they had to be able to make it back, at least extend to a game 5.
Yeah, it really is crazy because what the preseason expectation was for them never showed itself in the regular season. And then it began to show itself in the playoffs. So it feels scripted. You look at the preseason trailer for the NA LCS with DoubleLift walking up to the NA LCS logo with CLG and TSM chants competing in the background. Then the regular season was all about like Cloud9 and Jensen bodying fools and Immortals doing amazing things throughout the regular season. But at the end of the day, it was TSM and CLG again. Now a little bit unbelievable.
About hillbillies with, you know, pole dancing cat ladies, I guess.
I guess that's what happened in the early days.
Yes, trolls. It's like a big fantasy novel.
Standard lanes, everybody gets the same jungle starts. This is what I like to see.
Okay. No unfair advantage here. Both duo lanes starting with the camp for equal experience.
Yeah.
But it is also range support versus melee support. So it's Caitlyn versus Kalista, but the Bard is a stronger laner than the Alistar.
Do they miss a minion a little bit slower on Krugs? And they do.
Okay, small CS lead here. We're gonna see some damage come through. Stixxay dodges the Peacemaker, and the harass comes through. Oh, Stixxay missing last hit there, and I'm casting last hits. That's good.
Hey, it's so important.
Level 2 combo! Aphromoo in danger, flashing away!
That's why you cast last hits, Phreak!
Because when you get enough level 2 comes in, the immediate combo comes in, burning the summoner flash from Aphromoo. YellowStar taking his Ignite, but now Aphro can heal back up with his 3 potions and his hot chocolate.
That was close.
It was close. If DoubleLift flash Q'd autoed, you actually would have gotten him.
Here comes that Elise pick from Xmithie. Focusing first on mid lane now.
Flash go card.
Ooh. And a flash away from Bjergsen keeps him safe.
Huhi wasn't quite close enough to get a very fast stun. He flashed, and then it was a half second kind of before he threw the gold card. But
Yeah.
even then, as long as Bjergsen's willing to
way.
flash the first gold card, he's not going to die.
You can always reactively play.
Oh, meanwhile,
Another flash.
and Xmithie doesn't take the risk to flash over the wall and go for the Q execute, even though he's wearing red buff. Svenskeren heal flashes, jumps away.
Yeah. That's one
Still,
big
though.
thing. That's one big thing that Elise always has. If she has brush control, if she has vision advantage, she can land cocoon combo.
But keep in mind, it's now flash advantage for CLG overall, and now Xmithie can flash cocoon Bjergsen with no counterplay into a follow-up gold card. Now Xmithie can be the initiator, and this is dangerous for Bjergsen.
Definitely so. That's why he's prioritizing warding right now. Warding up the top side, going to even recall.
Well, he's got someone to teleport, so grab a Doran's ring, grab some potions, and we'll see how much Bjergsen can keep himself afloat.
Yeah. Now that we finally have a 4 TP game, both teams have to be very willing to all in on bottom lane skirmishes. Since it's standard lanes, 4-man teleport, we so often see games determined by one fight bottom. Here goes the gank top, though. They
Early
get a
flash by
No spear to
Darshan.
follow.
Still hit up by the body slam flash, bit of damage from Svenskeren. A couple more hits will do it. Will they get the dive? The last javelin hits, and that's first blood for Svenskeren in the top lane.
huge strikes again.
That's the first pick prioritization that we were expecting to see. That's the Nidalee value. Faster jungle clear than Xmithie. Xmithie had tried the counter jungling, and he gets up top lane. Darshan also trying to bully with the early Trundle pick, unable to do so.
Can
Aggressive gank pays
Xmithie
off.
do anything bottom? They're pushed up into a really good spot for TSM here. I don't think he can go for it.
Unless
TSM
Yellow
going
gets
aggressive.
aggressive.
Arcane shift away on reflex.
Afro
YellowStar
has
low.
Ignite. Remember, Afro has Ignite.
They could try to go for this one. Elise is coming through the wings. Will they find the play? DoubleLift low on HP. No mana. Has to flash away from the cocoon.
Yep, good there. You always throw out the Q first. There's the off chance that the AD carry is a little itchy with the trigger finger there on the flash and jumps at the first animation, but DoubleLift holds.
So a down summon as well, but look at the minion lead right here. DoubleLift is winning the lane matchup. They both took a jungle camp at level 1. They both came into the lane, and DoubleLift is out CSing Stixxay. Caitlyn already has a better top end than Ezreal, so I am worried a bit about CLG's damage output overall. And this Darshan puts in another 900 DPS game, or DPM game.
Yeah. I do think the mid-game spike, though, if he goes Iceborne Gauntlet, Muramana, Ezreal, would be where CLG would try and take their edge. Twisted Fate would be teleporting around with a lot of burst at that point. I think that's the game that CLG is trying to get to.
The Nidalee counter jungle, even after having to blow his flash early, Svenskeren doing well for himself in the early game.
But despite the kill, keep in mind that Darshan's actually winning in gold right now over Hauntzer. He's actually destroying this lane map.
Yeah, he was before that too.
Sure, but you're seeing the gold is practically equal, or was a second ago, despite a 600 gold first blood. Nice stun by Aphromoo, just walks in and hits YellowStar for 27 casual gold and freezes the wave as best he can, which means 1 melee and 3 casters will live. And he also knows that brush is
You
warded.
love to see that as an AD carry.
Oh, man.
Can the cannon minions save?
If your support takes the whole wave for you,
He saved the
honor
cannon
that
minion.
guy.
He saved the cannon minion flash shot there. I think
Darshan still has no flash, but he is playing respectfully of the gank.
He knows that he should
Svenskeren
be.
snuck around, so Darshan would be expecting to get ganked here.
yeah.
It's just such a bad spot for Darshan. He has so few options.
Really smart play.
Thankfully for him, top lane wave is going to push in anyway. Hauntzer can't freeze it, so he will just end up shoving anyway. Darshan will get some minions after all. Looking for a play up on this side, but I think the Trinket Ward would have spotted the CLG invade, so they won't catch Svenskeren on his way back down.
Yeah. Huhi now gonna have to retreat down to Aphromoo.
He's got reinforcements close by, gets Whimsied, but has gold card up. Can he reach anyone?
It's Kaido.
No.
The gold card's gonna
Ouch,
time out.
ouch. He's got to be careful. Gold card did time out, and in comes YellowStar, and a beautiful explosive cast to buy some time. But
And the bar
Xmithie
stun.
back onto YellowStar to get away, flashing from the javelin, running for his life. He should be getting away. Great cocoon to slow down Sven. Gets
And
away.
good dodge.
All right.
I thought it was really clever of Huhi to pop his Twisted Fate ultimate as soon as he realized he was getting ganked, so they knew where everyone was going to be approaching from and what CLG could invest to save him. And they invest just enough. They stick around. They end up getting away with 2 flashes and the TF ultimate, which it was looking a lot grimmer than that.
Yeah, good evasive maneuvers there, but still come out behind. And Nidalee, whenever she forces just a base from you, is gonna go take something out of your jungle. This time it ends up being the red buff.
And saves the pounce long enough to not get stopped by the traffic cone. Sorry, Darshan, you don't have any ruling around here. Forgot the word. Jurisdiction, that's what I was going for.
It's his own jungle. His jurisdiction doesn't even extend into his own
Nope.
jungle.
Nidalee.
It's his own top lane.
Jurisdiction,
has
Nidalee.
jungle jurisdiction.
Always. Don't you even talk about it any other way. Svenskeren allows Bjergsen the blue buff as the queen of the jungle.
Yeah. Bjergsen and Huhi.
They lost their beach ball, so now...
Yeah. Now they're saying half of CLG's mid laner's name. That's 2 syllables, guys. Come on. All right. Well, meanwhile, Stixxay. Oh!
So, well, this point is a point that DoubleLift wants to abuse, and CLG know that, so they're bringing Stixxay down bottom. It's the tier Ezreal versus the BF caitlyn.
This is the single worst item disparity you're going to have in this matchup. Tier versus BF sword, but look at all these
Bring down
people.
extra friends.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of roaming during this item discrepancy, and YellowStar has been matching the roaming, so really Stixxay hasn't been punished
Good lands
whatsoever.
anyway. Teleport coming in from Bjergsen. Let's see if he can get anything done with this one. Xmithie does not have flash, but he does have magical journey. So that is a summoner teleport burned just from the aggression of CLG.
Yep.
And look at all this time Huhi gets to push mid.
Gonna lose minions down the mid lane here. Huhi gonna get some extra damage there as well. TSM tries to get back up.
Yeah, CLG playing with a lot of confidence. It was looking a little close when TSM all into bottom lane and made Aphromoo flash away, but since then, they've kept that lane close. They've gone tier, they've gone catalyst, and they're kind of stacking up for their mid-game power spike.
TSM now have to play really defensively because not only does Huhi have teleport advantage, but he also has Twisted Fate ultimate coming back off cooldown. So he can make a play on the other side of the map and then teleport back to mid lane without even giving anything up. This is all CLG. The beach ball is now in their court.
And Darshan has the teleport advantage as well. But beach balls or not, jurisdiction still Svenskeren gets the Krugs in the top lane. Still has half the red buff up. That's never been cleared yet by Xmithie. That won't respawn yet.
Yeah. They really, oh.
Nice
Good
juke.
dodge by Huhi.
Nidalee with that first blood money is so, so scary. Wherever Svenskeren is on the map, CLG have to respect it.
Yeah.
The early completed challenging smite, full runic echoes.
Right, and that's the difference in build. Keep in mind that Xmithie had gone for the Tracker's Knife, for the wards, and Sven just wants to fight you.
Yeah. But they saw him mid lane, so they make a quick push on bottom. Nice, some minions, teleport advantage.
Here comes the play. Ezreal comes across. They land the stun and a DoubleLift. A whole lot of damage piled in. Stixxay still putting it in, and the kill is picked up for CLG.
get one.
But they've traded back. Yeah, Xmithie did fall down, and the turret's still hitting Huhi. He's taking a lot of damage for this one. They've got to be careful because Gragas is still pushing the top lane.
Bjergsen
and
on
Lulu
the way.
is coming down.
They want the gold card to fall down, then he'd go over for it.
3 going for the assassination, won't get it. They stun up Svenskeren. They re-engage, the Glitterland picks it up. TSM winning 2 for 1 in that fight while Gragas still pushes the top lane.
Hauntzer's teleport did just come off cooldown too. That looked like such a good map play by CLG, but they could not get the kills as quickly as they wanted, and it's turned bad for them.
Yep, and that's going to be the turret traded as well. TSM will recoup the losses there, even up the turret score.
Wow, that play needed to work for CLG. And whenever you send 5 people down bottom lane, you need to get clean kills and a turret because you're leaving so much open space for the other team to counter you. And here,
So
the Bard ultimate lands.
There's also an early cocoon here. Xmithie doesn't quite get that, but it doesn't really matter since the Bard stun lands and it overlaps.
Yeah, so YellowStar actually tanked the majority of Stixxay's damage there that delayed the kill on a DoubleLift, and then looked like Xmithie came back down onto a Caitlyn trap or something. Spears land throughout, and the long run there by Bjergsen. He gets the E down and then is able to kill him with a glitter lance, I believe.
Yep.
Yep. And they just continue on. Plus getting a turret, that gives a gold lead from TSM out of a pretty nasty situation.
Huhi found Nemo, and it took his life.
Wow. That's not how that movie ended.
Dark.
Spoiler alert.
I haven't even seen it.
Finding Nemo?
Nope.
Wow. That's unfortunate. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, audience. The sequel's coming out like next year and you haven't seen the original. How dare you?
I probably won't see the sequel either.
That's fine. I probably won't either. Boo. Yeah, okay. CLG, though, do get a dragon for their troubles despite losing the earlier team fight. CLG, though, still down about 2,000 gold off of TSM, making a great play in the bot lane. Getting +1 kill and a lot of farm. And the matchup that Darshan was winning earlier, he's now down about 20 minions under Hauntzer right here. This Gragas in a pretty good spot now.
And I think it's really huge, just the kill distribution that went over there. DoubleLift was able to pick up a kill while getting 5-man dove. That's the opposite of what you want to happen when you're CLG. A kill also goes over to Bjergsen. So the core of this team composition did get the right kills for TSM here.
And the core has been moved to the mid lane, just like CLG were doing in the first few. DoubleLift BF Sword Zeal walks in the mid and says, okay, you guys switch your spots. Double teleport will be up very soon. Bjergsen's isn't far away. Hauntzer's is up. So the 1-3-1 has begun. And how well can CLG even hold this mid lane? Svenskeren's here with the buff as well. These minions doing plenty of damage, and even more from DoubleLift.
Yeah, and there's not much that CLG can get from their split push. Since Twisted Fate, Huhi down on the bottom side, just going to try and push out the lane. CLG do everything they can to just clear minions at the moment. TSM, they have the potential to dive still since they keep prioritizing this Alistar pick. And CLG have to respect it.
Jeez. Svenskeren taking the wolf camp because Xmithie killed a ward of his. Now the Gromp's gone as well. There's so little gold that this Elise is even allowed to grab. It's level 10 to level 8 in the jungle matchup.
This is why it was so perplexing in the last match when TSM picked the Graves over the Nidalee.
Oh, but they did see Nidalee on a ward, so they're going to try and dive Hauntzer here. Trundle out to cut through resists.
And now Darshan taking some damage. The team's going to come through a magical journey because teleport comes in for Bjergsen. And Traffic going back TSM off for now.
I think the teleport was necessary to save his life.
I agree.
Yeah, but right now, Huhi's going to pressure bottom. He has his ultimate as well as his teleport available.
Well, someone's got to walk over the next 15 seconds. That wave's going to crash into the turret. Svenskeren is still jungling very, very quickly, and he's taking a lot of gold away from what could have been Xmithie's. So we'll see if other waves can be denied. Right now, no one's hitting bot lane. It's going to be DoubleLift walking over late. But that will be a wave denied and a slight bit of turret damage on the bot side. So good split pushing by Huhi to get some of that done.
Yeah.
The rest of the map under control for CLG. Turret score is still only 1-1. Those have been equalized. It's been farm and champion kills putting TSM ahead.
Yeah, and right now CLG just kind of waiting on their stacking items of the Rod of Ages and the blue Ezreal to really max out on the purchases they've already made before they try and force something really hard with Twisted Fate Ultimate.
Well, that's a lot of poke on a Stixxay, though. It's going to be a little bit difficult for CLG to hold on to this.
It's fine, full range.
They probably maybe even Ezreal ult to clear this wave. Yeah. There it is. They did it.
Most of that. Good job.
Looks like it is going to be the Titanic Hydra for Darshan in the top side as well for the early health for if the team fight does break out.
Yeah. We had been seeing a lot of Ravenous Hydra actually in the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, in Korea and in Europe.
Yeah. Back on track with the Titanic here for Darshan. Yeah. You built that on Jack's way back when.
Just health is such a good early and
they're going for the play.
And they've got the ulti onto YellowStar. Will there be a follow-up? That answer is no, but Svenskeren came around, gets knocked around, hit up by the Lulu ulti and kept alive for a bit. Aphromoo lower on health.
Huge!
3-man knockback onto Xmithie. He gets exploded. DoubleLift gets the kill. The 4th of the game for TSM.
I just thought that CLG were going to wait for their stacking items, but they forced this fight, and it's turned around on them really well by TSM.
Yeah.
That's going to cost them. TSM punish heavily.
Without huge burst damage on Huhi, just the Rod of Ages, they have to be so clean with their initiation. Someone's got to block it.
Okay, Huhi does, but that was dangerous. Plenty of damage dealt back and forth.
What a mistake.
Yeah, they just didn't have the burst because, I mean, Bjergsen can just run over, get the ultimate onto Svenskeren and save him easily.
Definitely unnecessary force there from CLG, and TSM very happy to see that. Punish them very quickly.
Yeah.
Take out 2 turrets and the entire red side jungle here. Giant gold lead now for TSM, looking to push this to game 5.
So they saw they had Svenskeren out of position, but Bjergsen covers so quickly. The Bard ultimate only caught the Alistar, so as soon as the play doesn't work, they have to back away, but it's kind of too late. Hauntzer gets a beautiful ultimate, chained into YellowStar's CC. They don't even let Xmithie go up into his repel because they also get the polymorph off. What a massive play for TSM because this game is all about abusing your item power spikes. For CLG, they needed the Iceborne and the Mermana as well as some more damage onto Huhi, but they had neither of those things.
Yeah.
And CLG would need to get even later into it, but they had the gold lead so they could play aggressive.
Now the map is wide open for TSM as well, and Bjergsen does have the Frostfang for the extra ghosties to catch someone out. Even if you don't kill them, you know, burning a summoner or getting one of the teleports to be blown from CLG really means a lot for them.
Definitely does. We'll see if TSM can make that happen yet again here. The team with a, well, 4,500 gold lead at 18 minutes is certainly sizable. TSM up 2 turrets as well. They've got to feel good about this game.
Yeah.
As you said, Kobe, looking to push it to game 5.
And they have a decent amount of vision control too, which is very, very good. Right now, they do have to keep in the back of their minds that there are the cooldowns from CLG with the double teleports, as well as the Aphromoo ultimate.
Wow.
He can catch someone out.
And it only cost him body slam. Meanwhile, bot lane was already getting pushed, so the CLG play means nothing. The TSM play gets them their 4th turret of the game.
Things are falling apart a little bit for CLG. Their playmaking is not giving them the plays they desire. The Twisted Fate ultimates have backfired more often than not, and that one cost them a turret as well as some pressure on this side. Darshan's trying to get something back and would think about a TP, but they're down 6,000 gold, and TSM specialty has been the team fighting thus far.
And it's been good. We'll see if TSM can keep these team fights going well, because CLG Gaming have only picked up 1 kill so far. And that's not a good number to have. Even if CLG can win games with less kills, you don't really like to. It's so nerve-wracking. More of the jungle taken away. And even though the number of CS between Svenskeren and Xmithie is not that far apart, the actual number of camps taken away is, I think, ridiculously different.
And it's really interesting with the jungle because you don't just compare flat numbers. A lot of those are taken out of Xmithie's jungle so that Xmithie then fills those numbers with other lane minions, taking more away from the team, right?
Or it like kills the small bites of, like that's 4 CS, but not worth 4 times as much as a red buff steal.
It's 2,200 gold is the difference between those junglers alone.
All right.
That's where it shows up the most. And then all the solo laners are ahead for TSM as well.
Yep. Well, the power spike's coming in slowly for CLG. 100 mana left on the Manamune, and 1 minute left. Actually, 1.5 minutes left on the Rod of Ages for Huhi. As those come in, it'll help a bit, but TSM have capitalized very well during that building period. Another blue buff for Bjergsen easily and safely, as his Lich Bane's done, so there's the big spike for Lulu online. CLG Gaming are just running out of options.
A little bit. I mean, luckily they are up 2 games to 1.
Yeah.
So
they get the option of a game 5.
But that's not what they're thinking right now. They're thinking about how to win this game, and they still have a lot of playmaking opportunity. Bardald to get the rotation down faster, Twisted Fate to come in strong, but it's so difficult against the Lulu and Caitlyn right now since they're hitting some pretty powerful points.
Also, the front line of TSM has been great. The Hauntzer and YellowStar have so much disruption at their fingertips that they can cause. So if CLG, if they pull off that initiation, it's going to have to be really well layered.
Yeah, the only thing I can see is Bjergsen with that build is void of any magic resistance. So if Huhi would get an Abyssal Scepter or something, you would have
a flash from the Frost Ghosties we talked about. That's that summoner.
Yep. That's a big deal.
Wave, but they're in trouble. They do not have the people in position. Huhi's trying to set up the slow push.
Under fire. Already a Hurricane Infinity Edge before 22 minutes for DoubleLift. He's got so much gold. The highest mini kills in the game. Mid inhibitor turret goes down. Then a quick rotation to the top side where Gragas is already pushing.
TSM doing a really good job of keeping up the pressure here. Switching right up to the top side, get more damage on this turret. They made the call to commit Huhi down bottom for a secondary trade, but TSM is going to be happy to get a 2-for-1.
And maybe more. I mean, he's going to have to go back to base eventually. This Hurricane Lulu Caitlyn combo is devastating.
And right now, CLG have no answer. When they were behind like this in game 1, they found a great double TP flank with an Echo, and it looked pretty good. But this time around, we're not seeing these kinds of plays out of CLG.
Yeah.
The TF ultis have meant nothing.
The first 3 games, we followed the script. TSM playing to team fighting and getting their advantages there, and CLG playing the map, trading objectives in a very beneficial manner. But this time around, TSM have gotten the early lead on the map, and they've kept up cross-map pressure extremely well.
Exactly, and against a Twisted Fate, that makes it more impressive. They've been able to absorb any of Huhi's teleports and turn them into advantageous plays. Even when Twisted Fate tries to split push, they respond in just the right way. So TSM is taking CLG's punches, and they're always there with the dodge and the counter.
It's been really good for TSM. They've now stolen 3 straight red buffs on the top side there. It's got to feel bad for CLG Gaming.
Huhi now completed Zhonya's and the fully stacked rod, so he's looking to be that Messiah-style TF where you teleport in, get the initiation for the team, Zhonya's, try and delay them, you know, bait out some skill shots maybe.
Yeah, but you've
It's
got
so
a
risky, though.
high persistent damage DoubleLift caitlyn with a Quicksilver Sash. You've
Also,
got Lulu and Nidalee to keep them alive.
Also, that's a very low, you know, split pushing threat.
Yeah.
TF build.
No,
Like you have, that's almost the lowest split pushing threat.
It's a
you can
team
have
fighting TF build, quite honestly, and they're down 6,000 gold where they would actually, you'd think, want the split pushing TF build more. And he also doesn't have enough Magic Pen to burst through Bjergsen in one shot, most likely.
Or DoubleLift, yeah.
Things are looking very good for TSM right now.
This is going to be rough stuff. Stixxay had to take a pit stop for a Hex Drinker, which is honestly not optimal. Blade of the Ruin King is the ideal third item for a blue Ezreal here to keep your DPS up, so it's going to get even harder for this Ezreal to get stuff done. Here's the Whimsy on Alistar. Slowed down a bit by the Iceborne Gauntlet. Stixxay will be able to retreat and stay alive, but it's getting harder and harder for CLG to even stand on the map right now.
Yeah, I don't see much damage coming out of this counter logic lineup at the moment.
No,
So
their
it's going to have to
whole...
be a big error from TSM and a lot of tower damage being added.
Exactly. With the Twisted Fate last pick and the rest of their team composition, it's all about getting picks. They need to be able to isolate one person, burst them down, but even when they have isolated people, they haven't been isolated enough, and Bjergsen's been able to come over and shield. This is not built for team fighting whatsoever for CLG, and TSM is sieging them and making them pay for it.
Yeah, no matter how much CLG wants them, Bjergsen can always help picks and keep his teammates alive, so there's really not a lot of options for CLG as they're trying to kill these backliners. That TF last pick to make the dives actually work. The Ez ulti, the Bard ulti, you know, catching up onto those backliners just hasn't really happened. TSM now with 7 turrets down, looking for the mid lane inhibitor itself.
Yep, setting up camp here inside Counter Logic Gaming's base with the traps.
Hauntzer took a lot of unnecessary damage there, but they still have Nidalee heals, Alistar heals, and they're going to push through.
Here
Double's
comes the play.
caught.
DoubleLift is the one who gets caught. Now, is there a re-engage? Plenty of damage down to 1/4 HP. YellowStar taking up the front lines. Does Counter Logic Gaming have a re-engage? The flash pulverize puts in Darshan, and now the damage on Svenskeren, low on health, and that's a really big Trundle. A pillar's in, and who does Twisted Fate want? Will there be a re-engage? Counter Logic Gaming looking to group up. Darshan gets popped. He goes in for almost nothing. Just dies on the outside, but a trade back. Stixxay gets one. Now Huhi has to run, finds the gold card onto Bjergsen, but didn't have the Q up to go for any more damage. Caitlyn snipe hurts, but it's through Zhonya's. That's a 1-for-1 jungler for top laner.
Yeah, pretty
CLG
odd
trading
fight
pool.
right there. A little bit sloppy on both sides, but they do each come away with a kill. CLG at least fend them off for now, but TSM still feeling extremely good about their position right now.
Yeah, and you could see there was a lot of confidence that TSM wouldn't lose a fight from their side just based on the fact that YellowStar flashed in when it looked like they were fine with the disengage, because the beginning was very good for CLG. They get DoubleLift with a whole bunch of damage, but he doesn't even flash or heal away when coming out of the Bard stasis. YellowStar flashing in on the tank there,
Yeah.
probably not a good idea, but TSM doesn't pay too badly for it. They do eventually focus on down Darshan, but not before.
Well, I mean, it's as he flashes in for the re-engage here. CLG made a weird re-engage call there where, I don't know, who he teleport? Ultimate really,
Yeah, he went for the Caitlyn, I think.
Really far down there, yeah.
They all went the Caitlyn, which is why he went for the flash chomp, is they almost had enough damage, but DoubleLift, I think, got to summon a heal as well as get hit by the Nidalee and survived through it. Stixxay finally got some damage down himself, but yeah, 2-0 on the Ezreal, but there we go, another dragon for TSM. A 7,000 gold lead remains, and that's even with Twisted Fate getting free gold through his passive.
Very true. So the gold lead doesn't extend for TSM right there. CLG, though, still needing to find a way to get the picks. Once Huhi gets his Lich Bane, he definitely has much more burst potential. I'm thinking specifically onto Bjergsen. If he can threaten Bjergsen, he hurts the protection he'd be able to offer on a DoubleLift. Bjergsen is going with a fairly damaged move speed heavy build. Looks like he's working towards Luden's Echo and would still be sitting on just the 30 magic resistance. So that's like the one point of vulnerability I see on TSM here.
Finally, CLG got their own red buff for the first time since the 3-minute mark when the game started. Counter Logic Gaming regaining a little bit of footing. As I look at the vision, TSM have actually lost all their deep wards, but CLG have complete control of their own jungle now. So current vision advantage is towards the red team. CLG trying to climb back in on this one.
And it is difficult for TSM also to bait Baron because CLG, they also have the Twisted Fate ultimate for one reveal. They have the double scrying orbs. And they set up decent defensive vision in their red side jungle. Plus, I mean, anytime there's a lot of poke on both teams, that becomes a lot more difficult to do.
Definitely agree. But the assassination power is actually going up now for CLG. Sheen into Lich Bane is going to be next up for Huhi. Randuin's Omen now done for Darshan, who can frontline much longer now against 50% crit chance DoubleLift. There's, again, we talk about TSM not having the highest of overall damage output. It's pretty DoubleLift focused, and Darshan is the guy to absorb that.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see, okay.
He ulted to spot if Baron was happening, and instead it wasn't, and went back into lane.
Yeah, I would like to see a QSS for Hauntzer next, just to reduce the amount of stats that Darshan can deal.
Mainly also to just keep Hauntzer tanky in teamfights, because they need him to be able to frontline with YellowStar.
Yeah.
And really, DoubleLift, till he gets to 4 or 5 items, will have trouble killing Darshan. And that's very critical.
Yeah, I feel like DoubleLift is saving a lot of money right now.
It's going to be hard to convert items. Yeah, 1,500 is roughly enough to turn what he's got now into Mercurial Scimitar.
is going to be next.
We'd assume so. If it's QSS plus a Vamp Scepter, you shouldn't go all the way to Bloodthirst. That's just a waste of gold. We'll see if what he gets out of this one. It is actually a lower DPS build, though. The fact that he went for the early QSS, yeah, there's Scimitar all the way done. So it's not quite as aggressive as Stixxay's build was.
Yeah.
With the gold lead, they should be
fine. But again, he's really only afraid of like Huhi teleporting in on him and landing the gold card. So
I don't think it's wrong.
Pretty good now.
More wave clear from CLG, doing what they can to keep the map under control. And to their credit, they've gotten most of these waves pushed past the midway point. You see Trundle now on the bot side. Darshan, level 15. Still actually one level behind Hauntzer here, so not crazy ahead or anything, but continuing to farm up on this Trundle.
Yeah. The game has definitely slowed down. And I think a lot of that has to do with CLG were the ones trying to initiate all the plays, and TSM was countering. But CLG is mainly just waiting for TSM to try something now and hoping to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like actually TSM should be a little bit more aggressive. They have a lot of heals. So, you know, even if you bait Baron and you only get a Twisted Fate ultimate out of it, it's a decent cooldown, and you can just heal up with Nidalee and Alistar and pretty easily tank a Baron, even if you are forced to start hitting it. You know, as soon as CLG show up, though, you have to respect the poke that they do have in the team. And it is always dangerous to group up when you're against Aphro Bard. He can try and get a Bard ultimate inside the pit or something.
Not to mention they have to respect Twisted Fate's wave clear. It's hard to get minion waves crashing into the turret.
Yeah.
And if you do lose a fight this late in the game, especially against a blue build Ezreal, their ability to chase you down, potentially ace you, and take a large percentage, if not all of your base, is very real. So I can understand the caution from TSM, but I do agree that they should be pressing a little bit harder.
Aphromoo just barely misses the stun on that one, didn't quite nick the wall, and Svenskeren walks away safely. It's worth noting that Ezreal's ultimate cooldown is much longer than it was a few months ago after the nerfs in 6.5 or 6.6.
Here they go. They're doing it.
It's going to be down for a while. He's to wave clear.
Immediate scout.
Yep, you have to respect that. Good job. Pull off it. You got a cooldown out, though.
They wasted the blue trinket on top of that ulti, though, so that was actually spotted out. TSM knows it's voided right now. They can clear that out pretty easily as the cooldown ticks down. Blue trinkets are all down, so is the Twisted Fate ultimate, so there are no more sort of cheating scouting interactions for CLG anymore. They have to walk in.
Yeah, or they walk up to get a ward down, which they do.
So they walk in for 2 wards down now. And there's actually no sweep available for TSM, so they gotta stay.
Look at Darshan's still pushing.
Darshan is pushing, and they're looking for the play onto the Baron. Here's the teleport now. Will they go in? The stun comes across. Darshan's in the pit, looking for damage on his Svenskeren, but Darshan is still alone in this one. In comes Elise. Who's gonna get it? The knockbacks come through, and it goes to CLG Gaming. They got the Baron. Now can they run away? It's a 4 versus 5.
My goodness, Xmithie with the epic steal. Can they chase down Huhi, though? It looks like they're gonna get him.
Q barrel not gonna slow, but that javelin certainly will. So that will be 2 dead from CLG Gaming, and Baron or not, that could still be a game-winning push for TSM.
Yes, they got the Baron, but at what cost? I loved the stop of damage on Baron, and it was an epic steal, but the fight afterward is still incredibly important.
Death timers, 20 seconds on Elise, 40 on Twisted Fate right now.
YellowStar's ultimate is up, so they could tank turrets if they want to. They could just use the tank on this outer turret.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going to go for. They're going to go for 2 inhibitors.
Inhibitor turret's going to fall easily. Hauntzer barely even took damage. Now the inhibitor itself. Elise is alive right now, and against Thorin, 4v5 was
They
a little
have
bit
to respect
risky.
Twisted Fate, too. As soon as he gets up, he does have teleport.
Yeah, he can show up anywhere. So if you're still in range in 20 seconds, CLG can re-engage this one. Bjergsen is literally out of mana now. He has no more spells to cast.
Yeah, he needs to recall and potentially teleport back in if CLG
keeping
decides
vision.
to continue this. They also have a ward spot for Huhi in the
Tempered
Baron
Fate
pit if
is
they
coming
wanted
up
to.
soon.
And they'd be hesitant because if they
Bjergsen
mess up this
TPing
play,
in
they
fog.
lose the game.
He's recalling in safely. He's gone.
Darshan is actually very vulnerable.
They're
right
thinking
now.
about it. That's the
There's
TF
the
teleport.
for Twisted Fate.
Where's
He can
Tempered
ult in
Fate?
afterwards. TP
Aphro?
coming in from Lulu. This is the team fight, but look at the damage Darshan's taking. Bard ulti buys some time. CLG Gaming stuns up DoubleLift, but they've already killed off Aphromoo. Now Darshan in the front lines taking so much punishment. They cannot kill off DoubleLift. That's 2 kills, 3 kills for TSM. CLG Gaming are running, but they get bopped up like a beach ball. And this is going to be Huhi next up in the front lines. A double kill for DoubleLift. Now to Stixxay. His replacement will be going down. Red Spike gets him. An ace for TSM.
Game 5, baby. TSM are going to push up the top lane and take us there.
You got to respect CLG's persistence in going for a play, but that was not the right call. The initiation was too scattered. They were already behind. They had already defended the push. They had stolen the Baron, but they pressed their luck a little bit too far, and that'll send it to Game 5.
2 games apiece as TSM fires back in Game 4. And it all comes down to one final game. Which team will represent North America at the Mid-Season Invitational? TSM or CLG? And we'll find out in Game 5.
5 games the dream. The last time we had an NA LCS final go to 5 games was in 2014. It's been a while. Real happy to see it.
We wanted this last year in MSG from CLG and TSM. We got to do a redo. So we're going to go to 5 now.
This will be good. Oh man. And the way these 4 games have gone has got to make CLG a little bit nervous because the 2 games they've won have been incredibly close, come down to some very close decisions in team fights, but games 2 and 4 the TSM have won have been much more decisive. The common thread throughout both of those, though, is Bjergsen on Lulu. So I'm looking for them to maybe attack that in the 5th game.
It has been. And what a story. Goes back to a team with DoubleLift playing against CLG even, and the best strategy that they have is their mid laner, their all-star mid laner on Lulu protecting DoubleLift. He stayed alive in that last fight, and he took down every single member of CLG.
He did. It was a really good game from him and a good game by CLG overall. An even better one, of course, by TSM. You saw the grit and determination, the attempts at the Twisted Fate flanks. Like, that's why that champion came through. Is like, okay, look, they're protecting the DoubleLift, but if we can pick him off, we'll be fine. We'll counter the team comp. But that wasn't going to happen. DoubleLift played safely enough. Bjergsen played well to keep him alive, and they never got those backline picks.
Yeah, definitely. There was a few questionable decisions by CLG, and Huhi's Twisted Fate ultimates were not really that on point throughout most of it. And then there's also one other thing we have to keep track of, is Blue Side has won every game. The first pick has come into medium effectiveness, but the counter pick on Red Side really has not been a counter pick in any of the games.
And I feel like these teams have both finally found themselves as far as the pick priority in these Blue Side picks, because Nidalee was outstanding in this game. And TSM, now they're like, whoa, why didn't we just do this last game when we had the option to? Svenskeren's Nidalee pretty much ruled the jungle, both jungles, for the entire game.
Yeah, and honestly, Darshan didn't look like he was the same playmaker on Trundle. Some of this was the fact that his team was already losing by a whole lot. It didn't have much to do on this champion, but it just kind of sat there as a really sort of lame frontliner. Also, if Stixxay's not on Caitlyn, can he even lane?
Yeah, and there's only so many plays you can make with the Trundle. I got the pillar in the right place.
Yeah,
Flash jump. That one didn't work.
Flash jump didn't
Not
do
the
very
same
much.
as a Poppy or an Echo for him, so that'll be fun.
Well, we'll see what the adaptations are for Game 5 because we're going to be getting that one up very soon.